Hello and welcome back to another World of Warcraft guide. Now this time it's going to be the kind of guide I have never done before. It's going to be gold making. I know a lot of people don't have much gold and this could really help you out. Now this is a technique called the Ghost Iron Shuffle. Now this actually originally comes from the Saronite Shuffle, which was a technique developed back in Wrath of the Lich King. As times went on, it's actually become more and more streamlined, and now it's a very easy thing to do. Now, what you need is Jewelcraft, and what's preferred is to have Jewelcraft, Enchanting, and Alchemy. You want them all at 600 pretty much. So the first thing you're going to need to do is loads of Ghost Iron. And that's the ore, not the bars. So to get this, what you want to do is use the Undermine Journal, and just type it in there, and check if the prices are good. So ideally you want it to be like below the 2-week average so that you're getting a good deal on it. Now there's also if you want to be ultra mathematical about this, just head onto the internet and there's one called the Golden Crusade Shuffle. It's a spreadsheet. You just plug everything in and it'll tell you what to do and if it's profitable, but it's not really needed. So now that you have your Ghost Iron ore, what you need to do is prospect it, and I'll have a macro for this in the description. What I recommend is just, get Netflix and watch a movie while you do this, because it's really damn boring. It shouldn't take that long though, depending on how many stacks, of course. Now after you've done this, you're going to have a whole bunch of blue and green gems, and what you do next depends entirely on your different professions. So if you have, now first thing I'm going to cover is the green gems. So if you're an enchanter, what you want to do is send the green gems to your Jewelcrafter, and of course since you prospected on your Jewelcrafter, well, it should be pretty easy. And what you want to do is make the rings and necklaces with the green gems. Now after you've done that, you just need to send them all the way back to your enchanter and create the popular enchanting scrolls. Now in the description I will have a link to a forum post by Elvine. He's a absolute friggin' master of gold making, which contains all the different popular enchanting scrolls. Very useful, and pretty much just make those, list them in the auction house, and that's a great way to get rid of most of your greens. Now the next thing you can do is Jewelcrafting, and this can be done with the leftover greens from the first thing I covered with Enchanting, or if you don't have Enchanting. Now this is by many means not the most efficient way to do things, but it still sort of works. So for this you would just cut the green gems into the most profitable kind of green in the hopes that they will proc a blue. Now when you cut a green gem as a Jewelcrafter, you have a chance of procking a perfect gem. This will have identical stats to the a normal blue gem, so they're actually worth money in the auction house. So all you want to do is vendor the cut greens and put the cut blues on the auction house. And really that's it. It's not the most profitable way to do things, but it gets rid of the greens. This is something you might end up doing with, say, your spare red gems, which are not used for making jewelry. Now, part C is you can actually use golden lotuses to transmute. This is for alchemists. You can use golden lotus to transmute the greens into blues for the purpose of crafting primal diamonds. Now, I find that this is good if you need a few more blue gems to be able to make more primal diamonds. So let's say you have 20 jades, 20 vermilion onyxes, and only 16 imperial amethysts. Well, it would be worth your while to just make 4 more imperial amethysts so that you can make 10 primal diamonds, which is quite nice. Now the next thing I'm going to cover is blue gems. This includes the gems that you might have made in the last part there of the greens. So you have 2 different options really. The first one is if you're a Transmute spec alchemist, what you can do is send the relevant blue gems to this character and make primal diamonds. Now, primal diamonds are the current meta gem, and if you want to sell these faster, you can diversify your stock by mixing in, just pretty much having a mix of cut meta gems and uncut ones and listing them all in the auction house. At the end of the day, the more baskets you have your eggs in, the more sales an hour you'll get, so that's nice. And finally we have, if you're a Jewelcrafter, you can just cut the blue gems into the most popular variety and sell it on the auction house. So that's really it. Essentially, you're getting raw materials, you're processing them into something usable by players. It's mainly going to be gems and enchants. Now, as we all know, gems and enchants are things that sell pretty well, especially at the, after a raid night when people have got their new gear and they're going back to the auction house. Now, in terms of actually managing all this on the auction house, it can be pretty tricky, and I'm not going to go into it in this video. I will have a separate video up probably in the next week and a bit on a thing called Trade Skill Master. Now, you'll probably see it in my videos from time to time. It's what I use to manage all my auctions. But yeah, I hope this guide's helpful, and before you do anything, if you have a question, if you don't understand fully, say in the comments and I'll get right back to you, and we'll be able to work it all out. So that's it for this video. Please like, favorite, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.